Hey, Vinyl Community, it's David Michael. I'm back after my Record Store Day video, and I want to thank everyone who saw that video. It's up around 4,000 views. I don't know what the fuck is that. But thank you to everyone who watched my Record Store Day video and who subbed me after I posted that video. I was going to do I think I'd referenced this before. I was going to do a sub contest for 600. And then I was joking I was going to do 666, but it looks like I might be doing 700 now. It's jumped from 600 to 700 really, really quickly. So, thank you. I appreciate it. So, I'm going to make this really quick, but I wanted to, I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you to everyone who saw that video, and I guess there was a lot of you. Yeah. So I think I'd referenced this in my Record Store Day video, is that I had another mega haul, which is all relative, which I always say. It's and I try not to use clickbait titles, because obviously incredible mega hauls and shit like that, it's all relative to you. To me, to find a lot of these things at thrift stores, they are incredible finds, as I'm finding out from talking to people from other parts of the world who go to thrift stores. So to me, you know, when I say these are incredible mega hauls, yeah, you know, it's a little bit of hype thrown in there, but for thrift store finds, I think these are pretty damn good. So, but you can decide that. As I reach over and get a drink, in my last video, the Record Store Day video, I had made a reference that there was one Record Store Day title that I didn't have in my hands yet, that a friend of mine had grabbed from a different store that I didn't go to, and the store that I went to didn't get it in. So I'm going to really quickly show you that. For any long-term viewers of my channel, you'll know that I'm a T-Rex junkie, Mark Bolan. And this came in. It was the T-Rex Rock and Roll EP. It's a 4-track 7-inch. It's two different versions of Summertime Blues, Honey Don't, and a different version of Honey Don't. Instrumental tracks. So every Record Store Day, any T-Rex title that comes in, I have to get it. The only one I didn't get this year was the gold vinyl for Electric Warrior, and I've heard rumors that those pressings are a little bit defective, possibly. So I'm glad I didn't. I had a friend in the UK who was going to pick it up for me, and he had it in his hands, and it would have been $50, $55 once exchange is done and all that stuff, and I told him to pass on it. So that one I will pass on. I don't know how many different versions of Electric Warrior I need, but I didn't have this one, was the T-Rex Rock and Roll EP, so I was really happy for my friend to pick me this up. So thank you, Tom, if you're ever seeing this video. I only have one new arrival, and then I'll get to all my mega thrift store finds. Is I got a copy of Tom Petty's Mojo. The Tom Petty reissues that are coming out. I didn't go for the box sets because a lot of those ones in the box sets I already have. So everything kind of post, I guess post Into the Great Wide Open, I'm kind of very selective with which ones I go for. And I think Mojo is a really good album. I think it's one of his better kind of post Into the Great Wide Open albums. So I did a pre-order for this one, and it was like, I don't know, $21 or something like that. But that's my only new arrival in the mail, is Tom Petty's Mojo, and I've just got it, so I haven't actually opened it yet, as you can tell. Seal. If you have not heard Tom Petty's Mojo, a lot of people say it's a lot more of a bluesy album, which I guess it is, but it's a lot more of the guitar-driven Tom Petty that I like. I do like a lot of the acoustic Tom Petty as well, but when Petty cranks it up, I'm all ears. So Mojo by Tom Petty was the only new arrival I got in last week, and I'm gonna guess this might be my last video for the week, because this coming Sunday is our biannual. If I understand right, bi means two, possibly. Record fair in my city, and I'm a vendor, but I'm also a buyer. So I guess I'll do a video of anything I buy from the record fair. But as always, every year I am so far behind getting my stuff ready. So what you can see, and what I'm looking at over here, if you look at me looking over here, is all the boxes lined up as they will sit on my table, and I have to go through them all and kind of refine a few things. And you know how, you know, if you're a vendor at record fairs, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I got a few days until a record fair that I have to kind of get my crap together. So yeah, so this will probably be the last video of the week. So and good for you. Anyways, I'm gonna get to my finds. This was from last Thursday, Friday, possibly. I think it was Friday. My wife and I, as always, if you watch my videos, we tend to go out thrift store shopping on Friday nights. It tends to be the best day, night in my city. I find that thrift stores put stuff out Fridays to get ready for the weekend, so they can get those big weekend crowds where they make all their, once again, that means money. So I'm gonna get right to it. I don't even know where to start because there were so many good finds last week at the thrift stores. But I guess we'll start with this one. I don't know what pressing it is, and it doesn't really matter to me, but Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. I found a copy of it. It's, the cover's been through the mill a few times, but the record seems to be playing nice. I'll probably do a Franken album for this one. I already have an existing Houses of the Holy, and I'll probably swap the vinyl out for that one. And you know how you all do. You make the perfect copy, and then I'll pass whatever copy along to wherever. So, Houses of the Holy Led Zeppelin was one of my first finds from the thrift stores last week. I'm just going to grab a stack of them here, as to not make this video too long, and every time I say that, it goes way too long, doesn't it? Of all the Neil Young albums I find at thrift stores, I find this one the most. I don't know why, but this is might have been the third or fourth copy I've found at thrift stores. But this one is, it's probably the nicest condition copy of Neil Young's Reactor that I've ever found in a thrift store. I know everyone goes on about how minty these finds are and whatnot. This one actually is. It looks like it's new right out of the package, to be honest with you. So I found, I don't think this is anyone's favorite Neil Young album, or it's not even really up there in their favorite albums, but you know, when you see the name Neil Young for $1 and it's in this condition, you don't pass it up. So Neil Young Reactor, and maybe I'll learn to love this album. Who knows? I don't think I will. You never know. I'm trying to group these together so they kind of, there's more of a, I don't know, maybe there's some kind of linear theme to it, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just grabbing stacks for you all here. Thies Van Leer. Now you might look at this, unless you're kind of in the know for progressive rock music, you might think, who cares? But Thies Van Leer was in the band called Focus. And if you don't know Focus, you might want to go on YouTube and look up the song Hocus Pocus. That's their biggest song. I'm drawing a blank now. Is it Hocus Focus or Hocus Pocus? I don't know. You think I would know that, but like I said, one-take videos, and I don't rehearse these things. So you'll know what song I'm talking about once you hear it. It's probably one of the better-known progressive rock songs, and to me, it's one of the best kind of rock songs of all time. It's probably in that top 100 list for me. But this is a solo album he did in 1975. In fact, there's a song called Focus 3 on here. This is called Introspection 2. And it seems to be maybe more of a leaning towards the classical end of things. But anything Focus related, I don't pass up. And this is probably the second, I think this is the second Van Leer album I found in the last maybe 6-7 months at thrift stores. So I'm really looking forward to hearing this one. I've not had a chance yet. I will be playing that pretty soon. I'm trying to save my really good stuff to the end, but I don't know. Like, once again, that's all relative, isn't it? Dire Straits Love Over Gold. Like the Neil Young Reactor. If you're gonna find a Dire Straits album at thrift stores, it's usually this one or Making Movies. I do find Brothers in Arms quite a bit. But this one, once again, like the Neil Young, it's a very stellar, clean copy. And I don't know if I've ever kept this one in my collection. I find them, play them, and then I kind of move them along. But some of these cleaner copies I'm finding for $1 as I'm coming to the end of my my selling at record fairs, because it's just a lot of hassle. It's a good reward and payoff in the end, but it's like a year-end pursuit to make sure you have good stock for the record fairs, and that's kind of, it's very time consuming, a lot of work. But that's a long story to tell you that I might be probably keeping this copy because, yeah, this one is clean. And like I said, as it comes to the end of me selling at record fairs, it's maybe time to start keeping the ones of these ones I keep on passing along. Yeah, that was a lot of words to tell you that I'll probably be keeping this Dire Straits. There you go. Probably one of my best finds from that thrift store find. And if you're on the YouTube vinyl community, I posted a photo of me finding this haul at that thrift store. And I'll preface this all by saying, why do I post photos of me finding these things at thrift stores? Because very early on in me posting photos, a lot of people post photos of their thrift store finds as they're finding them at thrift stores. In the early days of me kind of being on vinyl forums and stuff, I would say, hey, I found this stack of records, and I would show what they are, and maybe, you know, a few people would call bullshit on you. So I started just taking the odd photo of me finding them at the thrift store to say, no, I'm actually finding these at thrift stores. I don't feel, you know, then I'm realizing, do I need to justify me posting these things and saying I find them at thrift stores? Probably not. But at the time, it was just kind of to kind of shut those people up, and whether that's just jealousy or I don't know what the hell it is. But Western Canada is a very good place to find used records. So when I say that I posted a photo of me finding these things, that's kind of a backstory as to why I kind of started doing it. And then, like I said, in retrospect, it seems a bit silly now that I don't really need to prove myself to anyone. But so yeah, once again, if you're on the YouTube vinyl community, I posted a photo of me finding these records at that thrift store. So you might have seen some of these records already. Selector, Too Much Pressure. This was one of my, although I didn't make that video, that list I've made of my top most wanted albums. This could have easily been in there. This was $1, and like I said, like the Neil Young and Dire Straits, I don't know who bought these and donated them, but this is clean as clean gets, and I absolutely love this album, and I've never actually owned it on vinyl. So when I saw it at that thrift store, I kind of was like one of those heart attack moments for me. I've already played this through probably 3 times while I'm setting up my music room still. I said one of those high school albums for me with Madness, when, you know, everyone goes through their 5 minutes of ska. Mine's extended a bit further than 5 minutes, but that was a Goodwill find, or Value Village find, whatever. It's one of, you know, those thrift stores. Selector, Too Much Pressure. Times Square soundtrack, double album. One of those ones that you see in the track listing is so good on the soundtrack, but I don't know anyone who has seen the movie. And now owning this album, it makes me kind of want to see the movie just to see what it's all about. I've never actually bothered to watch it. But part of that, but I know The Cure's on it, and The Pretenders, Gary Newman, Roxy Music, Talking Heads, XTC, Joe Jackson and the Ramones, just to name a few. So I found that a really nice copy for $1, and yeah, that was one of the happier surprise finds I've had in a long time. To find a nice copy of Times Square, and I found some soundtracks. Someone donated some soundtracks. Make sure I got them all in one hand here. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom soundtrack for $1. Really nice condition copy, original insert. One of those things that I just don't see on vinyl. Picked that up for $1. And with that, I found a copy of Gremlins. This is probably, I think this is the second copy I've found this year at thrift stores, after I've never really seen it on vinyl. So second copy, I think this one is nicer than the first copy that I might have shown on another video. This one I'll be keeping, the other one I'll probably be passing along. Peter Gabriel is on here, so that was enough for me to pick it up. The Gremlins soundtrack. Kicks. You might know Kicks. They kind of were an early hair metal band. Although I think they were kind of better than a hair metal band. They were kind of more in league with, I don't know, maybe AC/DC. But this song has the song, what's it? I thought it Body Talk. Body Talk was kind of like the hit single on this album. But in Canada, it was called US Kicks. The album's called Cool Kids. I'm not sure what it's called in your country. It might be just called Kicks. But I think there definitely was a Canadian Kicks, because I have a 7-inch single by that band. So they changed their name to US Kicks. And then after this album, they just went by Kicks. They probably paid the price to own the name. But I found a copy of Cool Kids by Kicks, or in Canada, as they're known, US Kicks. Patty Drew. You might look at this and think, who? When I found this, I texted a lot of my friends who were really into soul music, and they freaked out that I found this. And it's a super nice condition copy, I believe from 1967. It's a much sought after soul album. If you look on Discogs, you'll see. A lot of my friends were kind of clamoring to line up to buy this off me, but we'll see. We will see. I don't know what to say about it. Just a powerhouse soul album. I think it's 1967 possibly this album came out. She had a minor hit with Tell Me. And just an incredibly good soul album if you're into such things. So I found that for $1. Patty Drew. Tell him. And I'm sure one of my friends who are super into soul will eventually do some trades and suck me out of that album. Depeche Mode, Speak and Spell. A lot of you know that I'm a major Depeche Mode collector. So obviously I have this album, but to find an original Canadian Sire version for $1, once again, you just don't pass those things up when you find them. A couple Ultravox albums. One of them I have. One of them I don't know why I didn't have it on vinyl, but Vienna obviously I do have. Probably one of the best albums of its kind to come out in the 80s, in my opinion. A lot of people, you either like the John Fox Ultravox or you like the mid-year Ultravox, or this is, to me, this is the best of the mid-year Ultravox albums, was Vienna. So I found that. And then Rage in Eden. I never owned this on vinyl, and it's in the shrink. That was in that pile that I found at the thrift store. I think We Stand Alone, I think, was the big track on here. Big. But Rage in Eden, I've never owned this on vinyl, and that was a nice surprise to find with this haul. We're coming down to the last two albums, and if I'm talking fast, it's because I'm trying to make this video shorter for you people. Failing miserably. I'm trying my best. So, XTC, the Black Sea, that was part of that haul. This is, I'm trying to have a look here. It's an original Canadian white label Virgin Records pressing. I did play this through. I know some people who watch my videos, they're big XTC fans. The original Canadian Virgin Records pressings were actually quite good. So that was part of that haul. Once again, an album I just never owned on vinyl before. I was very, very, very happy to find that. And we had an edit there. Sorry, there goes my one-take video. Someone came to the door and rang their doorbell. How fucking rude, isn't it? Interrupting my YouTube video. I have one more album left anyways, but there's a little bit of a tiny, tiny story to this, a little backstory. Sorry if it's boring to you, it's interesting to me, and it was kind of an exciting find. Since I've known my wife, she has been in love with this song by James Taylor. And she shows me the YouTube video for it all the time. It's a song he played on Sesame Street, I'm guessing mid-70s. And the song is Jellyman Kelly. And she has the greatest, fondest memories of this performance on Sesame Street from her being a kid. And yeah, she would just she loves James Taylor because of that song. And yeah, she just gets such pleasure out of that song and the memories it brings back to her from seeing that on Sesame Street. Flash forward to the weekend, and what did I find? I found a Sesame Street compilation from 1980, and it's got James Taylor, Jellyman Kelly. And it's got the Doobie Brothers on it, and it's got George Benson and Linda Ronstadt. But that one song, I promised my wife at one point I'd try to find her a recording of that song. There it is. So, if nothing else, I picked this up to please my wife, and I'll surprise by playing this one day in the basement. She'll come down and I'll throw this song on and it'll blow her mind. So there you go. That was my thrift store finds and my two new arrivals, one being the T-Rex and one being the Tom Petty. I do have one more record store day title coming from England That was a UK only release that I kind of made a swap with a friend of mine in the UK. But I think I got the better of the deal. But he probably thinks the same thing too. Before I end this, I just want to say once again, thank you to all the people who watched that Record Store Day video and who subbed. I'm rushing through this video, but although it's not going to be, it's going to be a little bit lengthy video. I had a lot of fines. So thank you once again. I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate anyone who decides to click on my videos. It's, you know, there's a ton of vinyl videos out there. You click on mine, I mean, thank you. So I'm going to end it right now, and I'm going to believe the next video I'm going to have is going to be after the record fair this coming weekend, and I'll probably have some exciting finds, and who knows, maybe I'll piece together a video showing off our record fair here in my city. It's a pretty big one because it's only twice a year, so they do it up pretty big. Having said that, this is David Michael from the vinyl community. Take care, and we'll see you next time.